Now we're going to talk about the camera. I brought us back to the original scene because we need to press this arrow. I had already done it in my model, so I didn't have the opportunity to in our scene. Here, we're going to press the arrow, and Item, Tool, and View will pop out. If you press View, you'll have this scene. Now, we're going to come over here to these 4 buttons, and we're going to press Toggle to the camera view. Now, if we click it, we'll see we go to the camera. But if we try to move, it'll take us out. So how do we move the camera? Well, what we can do is press this or press 0 on the numpad. Next, what we're going to do is click Locked Camera View. And there your problem is fixed. So now we're going to hop back into the headphones. Here we can see the camera is completely surrounding our pair of headphones. This is because if we press 0 and toggle to the shot, we have a really close shot. However, if I go back by zooming on my mouse wheel and press 0 again, you can see that the camera is no longer so close to the headphones. So my final setup for my render is going to be right about there. And I'll show you guys the overall scene so you can do your best to copy it or use it as reference in your own models. When you have your shot ready for rendering, and don't worry, if it doesn't look as clear as you think it might, or as it should, it will get clear in the final render. So here, when you're ready, press 0 on your numpad. I have this back orthographic view, but obviously you can set that to whatever you'd like. Now we're going to go to Render Properties and make sure we're on Cycles, and come down to Film and check Transparent. That'll give you this checkerboard background here, and it's going to help us with creating a PNG so we can change the background in Photoshop. We'll go to the scene, and I set this for Instagram at 1080 by 1360. You can see the rest of my settings, and then down here I set it as a PNG. When I'm ready, I'll go to File and Save, and then I'll go to Render, Render Image, and a pop-up will show up and will unpixelate as it produces your Blender render. Finally, now that we're in Photoshop, we've opened the PNG file that Blender exported as a render for us. What we're going to do first is make sure we have a background layer, and over here we can create the color we'd like. I'll press G, have the paint bucket tool in my hand, and left click, and this will happen if you're on the wrong layer. So press Ctrl Z and make sure you're on background. That way it fills cleanly. Lastly, if you'd like to get some more image editing or more crispness in your render, you can go to Image, and if your menu is grayed out, make sure you're clicked onto the image. Go to Image, and you can use Auto Tone, Auto Contrast, and Auto Color, as well as going to Image Adjustments and choosing Brightness and Contrast. I'll set this brightness at 10 and the contrast at 25. And now you have a more snappy popping render with better highlights, midtones, and lowlights. If you've liked the headphones tutorial, please like and subscribe, and look out for more tutorials from Gravity Sketch to come.